Good afternoon to all our panelists. Good afternoon to the attendees. And today would like to welcome you to the Teachers with Purpose Conference 2020. We are lucky today to have 2 or 3 very important resources apart from the CEO of Let's Consult. We have 2 very important resources who will be speaking with us about mental health and applying principles for creating streams of income and teaching best practices for the future. It promises to be an exciting time today and a very entertaining and as well as educating time for all teachers, and I dare say non-teachers as well, and people who have work to do in the education sector or in a school setting. So before we start, I'd like to give a few house rules. The panelists are not going to be with us throughout the session. Each panelist will take their sessions, take the question and answer session, and then they may need to exit as they have other commitments today. So we're going to encourage our participants and attendees to drop their questions in the question and answer box so that we can pick that and the panelists can answer the questions immediately they finish their presentation to us. That said, I would like to speak briefly about the webinar today and the objectives of this webinar. We are hoping or looking forward to learning today about building resilience for challenging situations. We understand what we've been going through since March globally. These have been indeed challenging times for so many sectors, particularly the education sector all over the world. And the stakeholders in this sector have been going through a lot of challenges. And I'm sure mental health challenges inclusive, even if we do not talk about them every day. So today we're going to draw attention to how we can build resilience through challenging times, especially as it relates to mental health. And we'll also be talking about applying principles for creating streams of income, as this pandemic has taught us that we all need to look inwards to increase our income streams, especially in these sectors that have been severely hampered by the pandemic. And we'll also be talking about identifying teaching best practices for the future. The future is here, by the way, for teachers. We cannot just do the brick and mortar, chalkboard, whiteboard, and markers like we used to do. Teaching has assumed a new dimension. We must start looking at how to create best practices inside and outside of the classroom to ensure that our children keep learning and keep staying at the top of their games. And to do this for us today, I will be calling on 3 people: Dr. Fikimanua, Mrs. Bumi Afilaka, and Mrs. Ayoyinka Owairu. Dr. Fikimanua, can you wave to us so that our participants can see that you're with us? Mrs. Bumi Afilaka, can you give us a wave? And that is Mrs. Ayoyinka Owairu, also waving to us now. Dr. Fikimanua is an associate specialist on children and adolescent mental health. So you see why we have called her here to speak with us today, because this pandemic affects us and affects our children physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, and in all areas. She holds an MBBS, that's a Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery from the University of Lagos. She's a fellow of the West African College of Physicians. Dr. Manua is also a member of the Royal College of Psychiatrists, and she currently works with the Somerset Foundation in UK. Fiki Manua, we welcome you here and thank you for being here. We know this is a very, very busy Saturday for you, but you have chosen to honor this invitation, even when you know that it's not convenient for you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Mrs. Bumi Afilaka will be our second speaker. She will also be speaking, taking her question and answer session immediately after her presentation so that she may be able to exit the seminar room for her other commitments. She has over 15 years teaching experience in the UK and in Nigeria, and she rose to become the head of year in a secondary school in Hertfordshire. That was before moving to Nigeria with her family